XPN news site, the John Ross Show, and we're going to have a special guest. We got Ricky Rodgers, of the executive director of the African American Men of Unity, and I've known Ricky a few years, but we're going to get a little more acquainted with what he's doing with the African American Men of Unity. So we're going to bring up Ricky right now. He's coming up on the screen here. There's Ricky. Good afternoon, Ricky.
Yeah, how you doing, John? Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you, brother. And we got to give him our welcome here. Welcome,
Yeah.
Ricky. Welcome.
Yes, thanks for the invite.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, the last few days we've had a couple, thoughts about youth, and I wanted to bring up. We had on Wednesday we had Simon Rodriguez of the city of Aurora, and next week from today we're going to have Scott Thurman with the township talking about things happening with youth. So I thought, oh, I know Ricky. Ricky does a lot with youth, so we're just going to have a time of sharing, and Ricky's going to share some of the things that are happening with the African American Men of Unity. And Ricky, why don't you just tell us a little about the group and how that got started? I think some people probably maybe don't know much about this group, but your group there. How did that get going? And explain that a little about the group.
Well, the African American Men of Unity, we started back in the summer of 1999. We responded to a problem that the city of Aurora was having, primarily with gangs, violence in the city. And so I attended a few meetings and community meetings, and they had discussed that they needed some solutions to this problem. So we came away from the meeting with the idea that we wanted to do something, but was not for certain what we would do. And so after we did quite a bit of research, we noticed that most of the young males who were joining gangs, 75% of them was from single parent households. And so we said, well, we can become the positive role model, mentor, and father figure for those youth. And that was kind of the genesis of why we started the African American Men of Unity, and providing the rite of passage, leadership development, manhood training, as well as life skills and mentoring.
Yeah, that period of time was really traumatic in Aurora. I forgot how many gun deaths there were. There was near 20 or more, I forgot, in those period of that. Some of those years there, it was not good. Of course, we've had a reduction, and we're really happy about that. And part of it is this program and doing more positive things with male young men. So we really appreciate that, Ricky.
Thank you.
And I have a couple things here. Maybe show this first. This is from the website that the African American Men of Unity, Men of Youth, they're youth too. But I'm going to take myself down so this can look a little bigger. But anyway, there's some of the highlights of some of the things that they've been doing, and it's quite a few different aspects that you're covering. Ricky, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, we have a litany of programs that we do to reach the youth and help them overcome the condition or relieve some of the disparities that's taking place in low income and particularly African American and Black and Brown communities.
Yeah, you got a lot of different things, and we'll discuss more of those. But that's on the website, and we'll have that up here a little later here on the link there. But that's Ricky's got, his group's got a lot of things that they've been doing over the years here. And how long have you been with the group since it started? Is that how, am I correct on that, or how is that?
Yes, I'm one of the original founders of the African American Men of Unity. And so back in 1989 was the genesis.
Well, you were young then. No, you were still young.
Yes, and there were over there were over 300 shootings during that time period, and
Oh, I know there's a
30
lot of
plus
shooting. Yeah,
homicides. Yeah, that's why we started. Yeah, to curtail and be part of the solution to this problem. And of course, we know in 2012 there were zero homicides, and one of the things that Mayor Wisner had indicated that the African American Men Unity and their programs and services was an integral part of the violence being reduced in the city of Aurora, and we will be a model and a prototype for other communities to actually implement to help curtail their violence as well.
I think that's very true. And churches, other youth programs, a lot of different things played a part. But yeah, we had zero homicides in a city of 200,000, and it's that's outstanding. There's no way. And we've had a few since then, but
Right.
it's not had that spike, and we don't want to have any more than we've had. I think we've only had a handful or less right now. Isn't that right, Ricky? Probably.
Right. Yes. We had like 8 last year, I believe.
I don't think there's been more than a few this year, right?
Right. Right.
I don't. It's not near half a dozen or four. I don't think. Maybe it's at that level or lower. It's not.
Yeah. You're correct in that. Yes.
I haven't. At least I haven't seen. Well, at least that's what the papers have been reporting. There haven't been that. So actually, that's still low. That's 4 per 100,000, and that's, and we don't want any deaths, but that is pretty
Right.
low for a community. Uh, and when we had those other deaths, it's gets up to 10 or 15 per 100,000 or whatever. So it's a big difference. And I'm up in Batavia, so if there's one death in Batavia, that'll spike it to, because we only got about 25,000. So that'd be 4 per 100,000 then, if one death from a homicide.
Yeah. One death is too many, of
It
course.
is too many. We
Yeah.
don't want any, and we want to just help our youth, and that's what you're doing. What are some of the things right now that are happening in this latter part of the summer here with your group there?
Well, over the summer, we switched from our mentoring and our rite of passage program uh, to our workforce development. We work with youth ages of 14 to 25. And so we started developing them in the area of employability. They learn employability skills, work ethics. They learn how to get a job, keep a job, and be promoted. Because if you're going to get kids off the street and to get them to stop selling drugs, you have to put money in their pocket and show them how to do it the right way. And of course, that's by giving them skills that they can actually use on a job. Learn how to take math and transfer it into how to count money or how to be a cashier or
Right,
work in a warehouse. So to teach them how to, a lot of kids don't even know the skills that they currently have. So even talking to them about English and language arts, that's a skill they're going to use and apply when they're communicating with other team members. That's a skill they're going to apply when they're doing interviews. So just let them understand how to utilize skill sets that they currently have and how to transfer them to in a job aspect. So that we're doing a lot of that. So over the summer, we hired about 20, 25 kids that we're teaching these skills to. And they not only learn these skills, but they get a chance to be on an internship site and practice those skills, in the field. So they get the work-based experience as well. So we have several partnerships. One being Enduro Coffee downtown. They've hired a couple of our kids over there. Cody has been excellent in that. They learn warehouse skills as well as how to take orders from clients and customers, as well as of course count money, give them change and things like that. So they learn how to practice those math skills as well as those communication skills. We're partnering with Tinkerworks, with David Smith and At Risk Mentoring. So we provided them with the youth to work with him over the summer and teaching kids about robotics and how to program and CAD coding for electronics and robots. So that's been exciting for our youth workers. Our Alyssa and Echo, we have kids over there working. We have kids at different churches working. So the kids have learned a lot of valuable skills over the summer. So that's a beautiful thing. And so we want to thank the city of Aurora, of course, for being a core sponsor for this particular program with the job readiness training.
Now, wow. And I know you do some sports programs too. Are they active right now in the summer, or how are you doing that? Sometimes you have some sports programs too, don't you?
Yeah, we were partnering with the Aurora Township, but since the pandemic, that particular program has been put on
Oh, I
hold.
see. No, it's
The
understandable.
basketball, yes, and but we would like to kick it back up again once the fall starts up, and so I'll be talking with the township regarding that. Of course, Scott Thurman,
Right.
he's the director for that particular program, so I'll be meeting with him soon.
Okay. Okay. Uh, and you work with several. What school districts you work with right now?
Well, I guess the question would be, what school district are we not working with?
Okay, who are I well, we know you're not working,
But
but I
I'm just
mean,
saying
yeah,
that.
okay.
I'm
Well,
just saying
there's
that.
quite a few school districts in the RAR. We can
Well, well, let me break it down for you,
okay,
brother. Now we work with, of course, 131. We get the core of our kids is in our programs, and we serve over 200 or 300 kids per school year that
okay,
comes through our mentoring and different programs that we have. But 131 is the bulk of the kids. We work with 308, 204, 129, and so we work with the various school districts because they all have kids who can benefit from our program. And I do want to clarify something because although our name is the African American Men in Unity, uh, we serve youth of all ethnicities, and we have a very diverse board that consists of Black, Caucasians, Hispanics, and as well as youth as part of our board.
yeah. I didn't get to dig that up in a good way, but you had various outreach pictures that showed you the diversity of your group, and I know it is that. So that's very
Right.
beautiful that you're helping all to build up everybody. And when we build up one, we'll build up the other. And we want to build up our African American young men. That's true, but we want to build up others too. We want to build up everybody here, and as show that we are a gift from God. And Ricky,
Right.
yeah, it's really appreciated, Ricky. And
Thank
and uh, now, what are you do a rite of, I think one of your key things is called the rite of passage. Is that right, Ricky?
you. Yes, that is correct. Yes.
How does that work?
Well, in our research, we found, of course, that a lot of the males who were joining gangs, of course, they had limited or no access to their biological father, and they were joining gangs, and the gangs was defining what manhood was, and so there was a lot of misconception associated with manhood, such as having enough courage to pull the trigger and kill somebody, or getting a notch in your belt for having a lot of women or going through women, or your ability to consume massive amounts of alcohol, which was all misconceptions associated with becoming a man. And so we wanted to have a clear cut, uh, you know, productive way that a young boy could define manhood. By having a sense of self, having the courage to say no when somebody's offering him drugs or things like that, or being able to finish high school when all the odds were stacked against you for you to drop out. And just help them define manhood from a better perspective, instead of all the negative things associated with manhood, showing the positive things becoming a man. Like once you do have a child, it's your responsibility as a man to help provide and take care of that child. So we focus on what we call the P's of manhood. Being a provider, providing love, providing money, providing advice, providing a roof over their head, food to eat, being a provider and being a protector, protecting your kids from gangs, drugs, violence, school failure. And then, of course, you want to have the ability to problem solve, because that life consists of, you're going to have problems, but you got to learn how to get through those problems and maintain your resiliency. So we teach a lot of those type of skills. And of course, being productive, being productive in society, not being a charge on society, but contributing, doing positive things in life. So they get a full foundation of that when they go through our program.
Now, do they does that program meet in a special place or in each school, or how do you do that?
Well, prior to the pandemic, we were actually partnering with CIS, Communities in School, and we were actually in every school district prior to the pandemic. Uh,
Okay.
and so we would definitely like to kick that back up again, provided that funding is available to do that. One thing that we did see that we've seen that a lot of the kids that were in our program were being transformed by the information, by the knowledge, being by the skills that they were learning from being a part of our program. And so, yeah, we would definitely love to do that again once things open back up like they should. And we're hoping that the school will. I think there was a mandate indicating that the schools must have in-person learning this school year. So hopefully they have the after-school programs as well, and we can come in and provide these critical services to help a lot of these at-risk youth that they primarily the chance of them graduating without our intervention is less than, and of course, with us being present and encouraging them and teaching them leadership skills, as well as even the value of education and how important it is, it helps them have a sense of self, a sense of hope, and that they can actually achieve something in life. Because our kids, we don't realize that, how much different traumas that they're actually experiencing in certain home environments, and just to encourage our kids to get through those trials, those tribulations, those tough times. Is priceless, so to speak.
So you run these programs before the pandemic in the schools, and you were and then after a certain period, after a year or more, when do they graduate or something from your rite of passage, or is that ongoing, or how does that work?
That is an excellent question, John. Now, this is how it kind of works. Now, a kid can be a part of our program as young as 7 and up until the age 18.
Okay.
Now, and so we become the positive role model, mentor, and father figure. So
Right.
we don't abandon the kids after 1 year. Once the kids sign up, they can continue to get our services in one way or the other. And our program is a live program, so every year we update, we modify, we tweak the program to cater to whatever is going on in the kids' lives today. Like before, we weren't talking about cyberbullying, but being that the internet is popular, people are using it, so we added that. So every year we tweak and add new things to the program that our kids can benefit from. So and that's why I think the kids love it so. And then of course we fill the gaps that the schools have as well. Like schools don't really teach leadership, so that's a core component of our program. And of course, kids don't really know why they're in it. It's kind of like a kid is told by their parent, go to school. And so we have to talk about, well, why is school important? And the kids say, why do I got to go to school? They say, well, go to school because I told you. So kids still don't know why I'm supposed to be there. So we fill that gap and let them know that, how important school is, because education is the foundation of which everything that you're going to achieve in life. And most problems are a result of not having the proper education in order to solve those problems. So we emphasize the importance of education. And then, of course, education also determines how much income that you're going to get, the type of clothes that you're going to wear, the type of car you're going to drive, the type of house you're going to live in. So once they understand it from that perspective, from an economic perspective, it changes their whole view of education itself. Whereas showing up just to show how to be the class clown, or showing up to see a girl, or showing up because they're hungry and want to eat, because lunch is their favorite class. So now they understand that it's critical to be educated in order to to dress a certain way, or to drive a certain type of car, or to live in a certain type of environment.
So how many students do you have in I mean, I don't know what you're going to have this year, but what in the past, what was the number of you've had in your rite of passage? How many would be in that group about in the rite of passage? Would you say how many young
Well,
men?
typically we would serve five, 600 kids per school year. You know, our program,
Really? Hmm.
yeah, it ran simultaneously with the school year. So, in the same sense that it takes 9 months for a woman to have a baby, uh, it takes 9 months for us to change the mindset of a young male. We start planting the seed for them to be transformed by the knowledge that we're actually giving them, and so we give birth to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So that's a core component of this program as well. It's all about education and changing the mindset, changing the attitude, and changing the beliefs. And it's what we call the transformation. And, last year, we actually partnered with New Covenant Full Gospel Church. And so we ran the program from there
Okay.
once the schools had shut down. So we still, because the thing is, the kids needed our program more so during the pandemic than ever before. So we couldn't
Right.
just
No,
abandon them and stop it. So we still had
that's
a,
very good.
a program taking place, but not at the volume of which we were doing while we were in during the school year.
Okay. Uh, and I know you've had one event that just passed. You were a sponsor, and I think the city was helping you and some others too. But the Juneteenth event at
Yeah,
MLK Park, and that was just Juneteenth. That was just
yeah,
Yeah, actually, I think you had it on the day, didn't you? I think maybe.
yeah. Juneteenth took place this year at MLK Park on June 18th. Of
Oh, it was
course,
18th. That was a Saturday before the 19th. Okay,
yeah,
but it was
yeah,
right
June
next to it.
19th.
Yep. Hmm.
And so of course, now Juneteenth is a federal holiday. But prior to that, of course, Governor Pritzker announced that Illinois would have Juneteenth as a Illinois holiday. But
Right.
prior to that, of course, in the city of Aurora, we were doing Juneteenth for 20 years. Juneteenth, of course, is the Emancipation Day or the Freedom Day for African Americans. Of course, it came into play when Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation back in 1863 on January the 1st. And but it took the slaves in Galveston, Texas, 2.5 years later to find out that they were free. And so we believe that nobody was free until we were all free on June 19th, 1865. So that's why we actually celebrate June 19th as the official Freedom Day.
Yeah, I've been up to that a few times. I wasn't up there this year, but I've been up to it a few times. It's a real nice event that you have there. And what's up with the back to school situation for the African American Men of Unity, the back to school? How are you looking on that?
I just want to add one more thing about the Juneteenth. So this year we had about 3,000 plus people that was in attendance today. Well, on June 19th, that is. And to date, uh, that celebration, we had food, of course. We had a lot of fun, basketball tournament. We had, just a lot of entertainment for the family as a whole,
Right.
clowns, everything. And so, yeah, we had an excellent turnout on that day. We came back post COVID with a bang and a boom. But we are preparing for our 13th annual back to school fair. We partner with Alderman at Large Sherman Jenkins. It started 13 years ago with Richard Irving when he was Alderman at Large, and
Okay.
so we carried it on up to this point. And we give over 1,000 backpacks filled with school supplies and for youth and needy families. So that, of course, kids can start the school year with having the proper tools that they need to excel and succeed at school. And so I want to thank. There's a few other aldermen that decided to get involved with that too. One being is Mike Seville. He oftentimes play a major role in that celebration and helping to sponsor it.
What uh, what date is that going to be, Ricky?
That's going to be August the 13th, Friday, August the 13th from
Okay. Okay.
4:30 to 7 p.m. at Greenfield Park.
Okay. And the next day is another back to school with CIS and others involved at Phillips Park. They can drive
Yes,
through
they'll
on
have
that
theirs on
one.
the 14th. Yes, and then Shakita Heartburn, she's going to have hers on the 15th over
I
at
know
Indy.
there's okay. I was going to say there's several out there because the other day uh, uh, we had from our friend from the city was talking, and he said there. I mean, he went through the list of it's quite, I think five or of them or something or
Yeah.
more. And he
Yes.
had them all down. I go,
Uh
there's quite so there's three right there in just a day. And I know I think Alderman Garza has one too,
Yes.
and I forgot who's the other one, but there's maybe five, and I think the city website has all those online. I think,
Yes.
uh, and well, Ricky, I want to, and then you got in right at Christmas time you have the Kwanzaa,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. The Kwanzaa celebration. Um, Typically, well, of course, Kwanzaa was created in 1966 by Dr. Malana Karinga to celebrate family, community, and culture. And so that takes place over a course of a 7 day celebration, but we concise that into one day. And so we combine all the various Kwanzaa principles into one day, and we celebrate all seven for wholeness, for wellness, to improve the condition of our people.
Okay. Yeah,
And
so those are some of the events you do, and you do. I know you're doing. You probably got some others in the works too, right? Maybe.
yes, most definitely. It's ongoing. Whatever the need is, we try to address it for the most part.
Yes.
And of course, if we can raise the funds to do it, we usually institute or implement programs and different services to accommodate the needs of the community to make it better, so it can be vibrant.
Well,
So,
this brings up just what I was going to bring up. Your
okay,
website. So if you want to help out Ricky and the African American Men of Unity and reaching a diverse youth in our city of Aurora and helping and just trying to make the young men better men, and that's where you can find out more about some of the things that Ricky's doing in his group. And we just appreciate Ricky coming by. And so keep that website in your mind there. We're going to spread the news around here after we get done here with this video. And so I just want to thank Ricky for coming by.
thank you
And
for the invite.
it was just good to be with you. And I thank him. And quickly, I'm just going to note that on Monday, we're going to have Sunny DeRoma is going to talk about the VNA healthcare, about vaccinations, testing, and other things to get. We want to just make sure everybody gets vaccinated so we don't have any spread here and just cut down from that variant that's out there. It's out there. So that's going to be on Monday at 5. So again, Ricky, thank you so much for coming by,
All
and
righty.
it's
But
really
John, I do have.
appreciated. And so all I can say right now is to all of you out there is God bless you and thank you. Bye bye now. Bye bye, everybody.
Hey, John, I got one last thing, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
What's that,
Uh,
Ricky? Go right
I
ahead.
just want to say that although we started off working with just males, but because of the impact that we were having and the transformation that were taking place, we actually started a girls' version of womanhood training as well. That's been very effective, and we're implementing that. So we're doing manhood training as well as womanhood training now because it was a great need for that as well. So I just
Okay,
want to
so
add
we
that.
have an offshoot with women, you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that about?
Well, it's been going on for about 4 years now.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll have to. Sorry, I didn't bring that. I'm sorry you didn't bring that up, but I'm glad
Oh,
you
that's
brought
okay.
that up, Ricky. Well, I
Yes.
have to remember that. I'll remember that too. So that proves that men and women, and we all need these good growing up characteristics that Ricky's trying to instill in people. Men, women, even us old guys need those things. We need those virtues. I think it's like Proverbs here or something along that line. We need these good virtues to have a good life. And I
Yes.
and I thank Ricky again for coming by, this brother, and thank you again, Ricky, for coming
All
by.
right, Brother John. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And
God
so I'll
bless.
just say, everybody out there, God bless all you out there, and bye bye now. Bye bye.